Oh shit, here we go again.
Welp, we're back here again. So a few weeks ago, I put out a video titled "The West Doesn't Deserve Anime or Manga," essentially talking about two controversies that happened within the week of the video being posted, that being the Half is More announcement and the controversy surrounding One Punch Man Season 3. Turns out that video kinda blew up for me. You know, the first day was kinda chill, and then after that, the views kept going up, and it kept going. And it kept going, and it kept going, and going, and going. Fast forward to now, it's about to hit, I think, 24,000 views, which is really good, you know? I never made a video in terms of anime that's hit that high yet, so that's the first time that's ever happened, and I'm really happy about it. You know, it got me over 1,000 subscribers finally, and yeah, I'm very happy with the end result of that video. I wouldn't really change anything about how I went about the topic, but because the video centered around politics, you're gonna get ignorant comments. That which I'm going to be replying to some today, because after the first 2 or 3 days, I kind of stopped replying to comments. One, because I was working on the next video already, where I was talking about the anime Sonda, which is currently out, that you can go check out. And also, it was so many comments being posted that I wasn't even getting notified about majority of them. Also, YouTube was deleting some because it broke community guidelines, and all of that culminated to me just not replying after 3 days. And I wanted to wait until the comments sort of slowed down to make this video, but the comments were still going and going, and yeah, I feel like they kind of slowed down now. Also, before we even get into the comments, I know I'm not the only person who made a video regarding specifically One Punch Man Season 3 and the drama around that. I would recommend the one from Shonen OG. He made a video regarding the One Punch Man drama 2 days before I did, and his is a much more balanced, more thought out version of mine. My video is essentially the yang to his yin. So if you want to hear another person's take on the situation, I highly recommend you go watch his video on it, because it is a good video and he's just an overall good content creator. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into some comments. Now, a lot of the comments I chose were more on the One Punch Man side of the video than Half is More, but I do want to preface something regarding the Half is More side of the video. I did mention that the mangaka was half black, half Japanese. And after the video went up, I got numerous comments saying that she's actually half Spanish, half Japanese. And one person elaborated that the characters are actually based on one of her close friends. But at the same time, though, the mangaka still does experience, you know, racism herself. So without further ado, let's finally get into some comments. And this first one is from Kid Goku 1984. It says, "I initially opened this video excited to see meaningful discourse, but sadly you're exhibiting all the traits you claim to criticize." We're already starting off with some fire. Already off rip. Point number 1, calling someone a leech for making content about anime, then using their name/imagery in your video and thumbnail for views is lame. Okay, listen. I don't know if you know how YouTube works, but let me tell you how this works, okay? POV, you're watching, for example, since you talked about Nicholas Light, you're watching a Nicholas Light video, right? And on the right side of the page, you see all of these different videos from top to bottom, from top to bottom, from top to bottom. You probably saw my video with that thumbnail. The whole point of a thumbnail is to make it eye-catching to the point where somebody will want to click on it. That's the reason I used his face, 1. And 2, I used it to reference the Garo slide, because that's the whole reason the drama kickstarted, was because of that Garo slide specifically. And I thought it'd be a funny idea to make the Garo slide on Nicholas's face. I mean, the whole point of a thumbnail and the title is to make it engaging and eye-catching enough For the person viewing it on the recommending side, if they veer off to the right side of their screen and they see it and they just see the thumbnail with no context, the thumbnail is going to make them enticed enough to actually see what this video is about, and it would persuade them to click it, which clearly worked because you're in my comment section, so thank you, I think I did my job. Number 2, people criticizing art for darkening skin tone is bad, yes, but it goes the same way when people get death threats for whitening skin color in art, like the Sailor Moon situation. Is racism only bad if it's against black people? No, of course not. When did I say that in the video? But if you really think about it, the main group of people that get attacked in these kinds of situations, the majority of the time, is black people. The Sailor Moon situation is an anomaly compared to the other controversies where black people are getting made fun of or getting attacked. So that question is basically irrelevant because I didn't say that in the video. 3, you claim Nick was harassing the director of One Punch Man when he was critiquing the committee. You then went on to copy his exact stance word for word and painted yourself as the good guy. Literally, both of you are critiquing the committee for bad work conditions, not the animators, not the director. You're the same. Okay. I don't remember in my video where I basically made fun of the director for being a hentai director and then emphasizing it basically being used in a derogatory fashion. I don't remember in my video where I tried to play the victim and think that people were attacking me for no reason and I didn't do anything wrong. I don't remember doing those two things at all in my video. So if we really want to keep it a buck, I am the good guy. I don't remember doing any of those things. But yeah, thank you for your comment. Next comment is from Abdul Majid FL1RC. And I'm gonna read this the dumb way you worded it so it has its 100% effect. Of course, the black like you don't deserve anime. Also, Japan really hates people like you, so get over it. Look, they can hate all they want, but what they can't deny is that black culture really has an influence on their people. Literally, the 2 biggest openings of 2024 were Jersey Club Beats, a very black subgenre in hip hop created by black people. Japanese guys are getting their hair dreaded. And not like half Japanese people. I'm talking about 100% pure Japanese people. Their hair can't even naturally do that without a bunch of products. I made a bit about it in the video, but there is a gang of Japanese Crips. And there's a section on TikTok of Japanese people pretending to be Crips. You know, they got all the blue on, they're sea walking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't just add that for no reason. And the Crips gang culture, that's very black coded. So they can hate us all they want, but you know, our culture is very influential on them. And the people you claim in your comment that hates black people, I'm sure most of them are either very elderly and they can't shake that mindset out of their head, or they're just looking at like tourists, for example, that go to Japan and fuck around and just cause havoc, and they assume that all black people are like that. So yeah, again, another irrelevant comment, but I wanted to highlight it because of how dumb it is, and yeah, I thought it'd be good for this video. Next comment is from Luca Meklov 554. I love when Kubo, the author of Bleach, tweeted at quote-unquote fans who were complaining about Bleach having quote-unquote gooner designs for his females. He said that if they know how we should write a story, they are more than welcome to become a fellow mangaka and write the next Bleach. That's the thing. These people who complain, and this is about anything regarding anime and manga, the people who are complaining about these things, they're only viewing it from a consumer point of view. They're just consumers and that's it. They're not creators. It's easy to watch something or read something in the comfort of your home and just critique it till day in, day out without knowing how that form of media was created. And that also goes with Nick and One Punch Man. Like, if he really knew the behind the scenes of the animation industry and the process, he wouldn't have front ran this whole drama to begin with. The people who like to, you know, really critique something and say, oh, they should do it this way, or you should, you know, do it this way, basically telling these creators how to do their own work, they're just consumers. They don't have a creative bone in their body. But the internet's gonna internet, and as long as the internet exists, this problem is never gonna go away. So I don't even give those people my energy at all, and you shouldn't either. Next comment is from Alcard2. They say, so corny. Why this bum is talking about how another man is making revenue by doing reaction videos on anime? You pathetic snake. No one is protected by criticism. Grow up, kid. You're right, no one is protected by criticism, including Nick, which is why I made the video, because it's so, like, this whole drama is so stupid. Again, like in the previous comment, they don't know the behind the scenes of the animation process. Like, it's easy to just make critiques and feed into the drama when you don't create anything. Like, you don't create any animation, you don't create any manga, like, you just watch the final product and that's it. You don't know the behind the scenes work behind it. It's not like these people can just rebel and just draw whatever. Like, they have to work with what they have, and obviously they don't have a lot to work with, which is why we got what we got with One Punch Man Season 3. And yeah, people like Nick should be critiqued, because if not, he's just gonna continue doing what he does with no kind of pushback, which leads into this next comment by I Am a They say, honestly, a lot of media consumers don't deserve the artistry behind it. I only noticed toward the end of the video that Nick only got into anime because he reacted to AOT openings and made hella money off that. Like, get your bag, but you're not the president of anime now. He really isn't. And because he, you know, has this large following on YouTube, like, he has this false superiority complex, like he's the biggest go-to channel for anime reactions, when that's not the case. I can name channels with like a fifth of Nicholas's subscriber count that are way more genuine, have better reactions, and have better commentary on, you know, the shows that they're watching. They just don't have the following. And even the people who do, they don't really have the same reach as Nick. Like, Nick literally started a channel dubbing his videos in Japanese. So if one of these creators, like your boy Roshi for example, if him and Nick were both in Japan at the same time, I can guarantee you more people will recognize Nick than Roshi. But like I said, just because, you know, you're the biggest, that doesn't mean you're the best. I know numerous channels with way less of a following that make way better reaction videos than Nick does. Like Alana Misako, ED Anime, Freshest Anime, Reanimated, your boy Roshi, and those are just the ones I'm subscribed to. Like, there's others like your boy Rock Lee, I think his name is Kaka TV. There's numerous other channels with way better reaction videos than Nick. And like I said, they're way more genuine. They don't have to feed into any drama. They don't have to troll. They're just being their true selves. Something that Nick really needs to take notes from and implement and go back to, because he was like that when he started 3 years ago, but now it's just, yeah, that man is cooked. And just for the record, as long as Giguk and the Anime Man are making videos on YouTube, Nick is far from the biggest anime channel on this platform. Let's get that straight. Next comment is from Phantom Flowers 6749. I don't know if anyone needs to hear this, but manga and anime is more progressive than you give credit, even way back then. In 1970, Osamu Tezuka, the godfather of manga and anime, created a series called Alabaster. The main character of the series was African American. In 76, Tezuka made the manga MW, which featured a very, very toxic homosexual couple in the forefront. Ryoka Ikeda made the manga Claudine, which is one of the earliest depictions of a transgender protagonist. In 1997, revolutionary girl Utena has a POC main character Anthe, and her relationship with the heroine was very queer-coded, on top of dissecting misogyny and feminine roles. Go Nagai's Devilman pushed a ton of boundaries that would make Puritans die of overstimulation, and depending which version you read/watched, there is a queer couple. Akira Hiromoto, the guy who made Prison School, made another series called Me and the Devil Blues in the 2010s, which tells a fictionalized story of the blues musician Robert Johnson. All of this is not new to manga or anime, but people are up in arms and throwing a hissy fit over this particular manga because of a mixed race protagonist. Shut the F up. I'm tired of the whole woke talk. Just admit you're a hateful piece of shit and own it. Yeah, it's that simple. Like, Half is More is not the first like progressive series by a long shot. There's history before this. I don't know why people are making it seem like Half is More is like the first series of this magnitude to be, you know, released in America or even made in general. But, you know, the way people have been reacting to it, they make it seem like that's the case. They would be shocked to even go back that far in history to even read some of those other series that this person mentioned. And I'm glad they did mention it because, yeah, it's true. Like, these types of manga aren't new. Half is More isn't new at all. There's a bunch of series that preceded, but because of the lack of internet, people don't really know about these things, and they're not willing to go back and look that far and research. And also, like, the people who like to, you know, make a fuss about everything now, they're most likely newer fans. They don't know about Me and the Devil Blues, for example. They don't know that the same guy who made Prison School made a manga about a blues musician essentially like selling their soul to make music. And if they did, they probably wouldn't even read Prison School anymore. They probably wouldn't even support it because they would think Me and the Devil Blues is like woke DEI nonsense like they think Half is More is. This next comment is from Brandon Clark 436. Being a lolicon has nothing to do with chibi reviews. I understand the idea of liking underage characters makes you uncomfortable, but stop calling lolicons PDF files. It does more harm than good, protects zero children, and gives bigoted lolicons, like chibi fans, more ammo to pretend that anyone against them is ignorant and continues to let them overrepresent us. It's probably for the safety of your channel and social standing, so I understand ignoring this, but I'm giving you the chance right now to understand that downplaying pedophilia for art that makes you uncomfortable helps zero victims. Most lolicons are normal people, and most people who make that kind of art in general are reflecting on their own experiences. It may not seem like it, but you lose a lot of legitimacy when you make such blanket claims. So what they're referencing is like a little joke I made in the video where I mentioned like chibi reviews. If that bit made it sound like I was overgeneralizing everybody and making it sound like I was making fun of everybody who likes that sort of thing, that was not my intention at all. That's why I singled out Chibi and Nick. I understand that that is a very common stereotype that is and needs to be taken seriously. The reason I singled out Chibi mainly is just because of like all the other antics outside of YouTube, like what he decides to tweet and talk about on social media. That's why I singled him out, and that's why I look at him specifically sideways when he brings stuff up like that, especially like when he talks about certain anime and manga. Anime which like he never even talks about these anime, but like when something sexual happens, that's when he'll talk about it. And I know he does it to rage bait and get paid. The first time he talks about these kinds of shows is when like a female character gets either like sexually abused or assaulted. That's why I singled him out specifically, but my goal for that bit wasn't to make it sound like I was condemning everybody like the person who commented this. Now, are there people who are into that who are also weirdos? Yes, without a doubt. But again, I wasn't trying to stereotype everybody who likes that sort of thing into that, so I will apologize for that. I'll take accountability for that. Thank you for your comment though. Next comment is from Mayace TX5JN. White people bitching about black people being in their Japanese manga will never not be cringe. People in Japan think it's cool, and that's all that matters. GTFO tourists. Wait until they find out there's gay people in anime. They're not watching like Yuri or Yaoi or Shoujo, anything love related. They're mainly watching the popular stuff, which is battle shonen anime. They're not watching anything else besides that. And another thing that just came to my mind is that like the people who like to complain about these sorts of things, especially like with darker skinned characters being in anime and thinking it's like woke DEI nonsense, they think that these characters in these anime are white. They're Japanese. For example, in Dandadan, right? What white person have you met named Ken Takakura? What white person have you met named Momo Ayase? These are Japanese people, and Japanese people are people of color. It just really boggles my mind at like the stupidity of some of these people. This next comment is from Silverstone1691. I was like you, where I liked Nick's OP and Naruto reactions, but then I saw signs of him being a bit too ignorant for my liking and moved on from him. Like, bro acts like he's a part of the upper tier group of AniTubers that have insight/connections to the anime and manga industry, but he doesn't know how anything truly works. Yeah, again, I was subscribed to Nick pretty much when he started reacting to anime in 2022, 2023, and then after that, I don't know, something just like changed, and maybe it was me getting older, I don't know, and like he really started to lean into more drama. He started to troll a lot more. The genuineness of his earlier reactions just started to disappear as time went on, and yeah, I was just like, I'm not feeling this anymore, and then I just unsubscribed. I was subscribed to his regular channel, his Nicholas Dark channel. I was in his Discord for a few months. After that first year though, of me being in all of those things, I just unsubscribed, left his server, and I haven't been there since. His content just doesn't really offer any value for me anymore. This next comment is from CookieBaker2660. I never take words of losers who got bullied for supposedly anime and games seriously. Buddy, it's not the fault of anime or any other form of media. It was actually you all along, straight up. I remember having same interests back in the 90s and early 2000s. Never got any crap for it and actually pulled people into it. And I'll tell you a little secret. The same thing applies to race. Those terrible male devils give you terrible... Okay. I was with you until these last two sentences, and I'm not even gonna read the second half. From the sounds of this comment, I don't think we're around the same age, and I don't know where you live, but where I live, people would bully you for liking anime all the time. Doesn't matter what your personality is, and most of those times it was unwarranted. I stayed to myself with my manga and anime love. I wasn't going up to people and being like, hey, you should watch this specific anime, you should read this manga, it's really good. I was never doing that. Like, I was off to the side, me and my friends, whenever it was like recess or indoor recess, like we would be off to the side playing Yu-Gi-Oh or something, just bonding over that to ourselves. We weren't in everybody's face with it, and still we got bullied. Especially like where I live, in like the area that I live in, there's this thing called joning, which is essentially just like roasting, but like we call it joning. Yeah, you would get joned on for the littlest things, like what you had on, what your interests were, your physical appearance. It didn't matter. People were joning before they even knew what joning was. And you can ask any black person, when they first started getting into anime and manga, they probably got made fun of too. This isn't just like a me thing. This next comment was really ignorant, but I still wanted to highlight it because it is very dumb. This is from Ashton Frost Diamond. He says, I don't know, bro. Where's all the graffiti in Japan coming from? Come on, bruh. When I saw this comment, I just replied with the meanest side-eye imaginable. Maybe the Japanese? You do realize Japanese people still make up majority of the country. That may sound like a foreign concept to you though. I know what you're trying to do framing a question like that. You're not slick. And I'm not even gonna read the next reply he sent because, yeah, again, it's just really ignorant. Like, you realize graffiti isn't just a black thing. And I'm pretty sure like a lot of that graffiti is coming from Japanese people, especially because like most of that graffiti is in Japanese, probably. So your comment is kind of like, what? I felt like I just lost brain cells when I first saw this comment. This was just a very brain dead take. Yeah, let's just keep going. Let's wrap this up. Next comment is from K.K8025. They say, you know, I have an OC that actually has similar background to this manga. A black girl and her family living in Japan dealing with discrimination, though she connects/copes with gyaru fashion. I'm not Japanese, but I'm also Hispanic, so it's also cool the author is Hispanic. Racism runs so rampant in the anime community in general, it's sad. Yeah, I think that's cool that you have an OC with a similar background. You know, I hope you do something with it. And also, just to be funny, but you literally just referenced the female protagonist, the Peach Girl. Like that's essentially what that manga was about. And I remember watching it on the Funimation channel when it was a channel back in the day. Next comment is from TreeThief4987. They say, my question is, why is your escapism hinging upon black people not being there? Why do black people existing ruin your escapism? These people, man, are trash. Those are very good questions. I don't know, like they just can't fathom like seeing darker skin, like any skin color that isn't white, they just can't wrap their head around that being a thing. And also, I didn't mention this, but the people who complain about like black characters in manga or darker skin characters in manga, I think they fail to realize that some of these mangaka are also on social media. They're seeing their fan bases in real time of creating these manga. They're going to conventions around the world. They're seeing cosplays on social media. They're seeing OCs. They're seeing all of these things while they're working on their series. You know, why not include different cultures in your manga, like to make it more interesting? Not saying that just solely Japanese people or just the Japanese culture isn't interesting, because that was the whole reason a lot of us fell in love with manga and anime, was because it wasn't something that we saw in America. Like we got to see another culture. It being solely Japanese, that was the reason I fell in love with it. That, and also because it was just cool. But as time went on, of course, like as social media grew, these creators are seeing these different races of people around the world fall in love with their series. Why not show that same appreciation in your work? These racist people on social media act like this is all a ploy from the West to make anime more westernized. We're not telling them to do that. I'm pretty sure the West didn't tell Atsushi Okubo, hey, you should add Killick Rung to appeal to the black people. Hey, Kohei Horikoshi, you should add Rocklock to appeal to your black audience. They are creating these characters. We're not creating the characters for them. And if you really think that, then you're just cooked beyond repair. Like you're just lost in the sauce. And this last comment is from KDB349. So he's basically quoting what I said in the video. I don't want to hear anime and fiction should be an escape from reality, because that's not true. Yes, it is. While real life events / stories can be adapted into an animated fictional setting, that doesn't mean that for the most part, people don't indulge in fiction for escapism. And you want to know the reason why whenever dark-skinned characters are brought up, people get upset? It's because they're annoying. Yeah, sure, okay. They usually are very aggressive, disrespectful, miserable, and annoying. The story comes off as a lecture, which is why people get put off by it. Yes, racism is a very real problem and does warrant discussion, but you can do it in a way that isn't irritating. It's the same thing with the LGBT nonsense. People who make these characters / stories usually can't write well, and you wonder why people are tired of it, lol. In regards to that fan art situation, I'm not familiar with the Don or whatever it's called. Yeah, obviously. But those characters looked ugly, at least in my opinion. Okay, then draw something better. Now, I'm not gonna attack someone for making something I don't like, but if you blackwash characters and claim that you fixed it, then of course you're gonna get hate for it. That's completely understandable. When people make black edits, they never say that they fixed the character. Now, I know you don't know about the situation, so I'm gonna tell you about it. With that fan art, never did the original creator say they fixed the original design. Or usually when you see something that says, oh, I fixed this design, usually it's when a black character gets introduced and a white person who can't fathom seeing a black person getting created, they respond with something very racist, vitriolic. They create a design that turns the character's skin from black to white, then they say they fixed it. And that was the case with Nessa in Pokemon. People like that fan aren't innocent. If they are intentionally starting problems, they're not intentionally starting problems. I don't like seeing characters blackwashed at all. It looks wrong, it looks strange, and ultimately it makes no sense. And this is coming from a black guy, but hey, that's just how I feel. You're right, you're entitled to how you feel, and hopefully those tap shoes you got on aren't hurting your feet at all. When people make like these black edits, they're not doing it to like start problems. They really like the original property, and it's just harmless fan art. It's not like they're making the fan art and then the series that they're making the fan art for suddenly just disappears. They have respect for the original property. They're just making the fan art because they want to make it. And also, like, a lot of these graphic designers who make those edits, they do make original characters and they post them on the same account that they post their edits on. But the OCs don't get nearly as much traction as the edits do, which sucks, but that's just the reality of it. Now, you said the Don fan art looks ugly. We're gonna play a game real quick, okay? Now, I'll refrain from showing any edits from the half is more section of the video. Which fan art is uglier? This Don fan art or this? Now, this is an actual picture. This person decided to take time out of their miserable life to troll and make a racist caricature of the original cover of Half Is More because they can't fathom seeing black characters in their medium, whereas the Don fan art has love for the original series and made the fan art out of their love for the series. Now, which fan art looks uglier? If anything, you should be more offended with the Half Is More one because that's the right answer. Now, again, you're entitled to your own opinion, you know, keep shucking and jiving if you want, you know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to give you the real. And with that, I think it's finally time to let this video go, for me at least. Thank you to everybody who watched it. Again, if you want to see another video regarding the One Punch Man drama specifically, go watch Shonen OG's video. I'll link it in the description. Thank you all for subscribing, whoever came from that video. Hopefully you like this video. And go watch the Sonda video I made because that's another series that's airing right now that is way better than One Punch Man Season 3, I'll tell you that. But yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna call the video. If you like this video, leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications. I don't think I've ever said that before, but yeah, turn on notifications so you'll be notified every time I post a video. And yeah, till next time, deuces.